English learning podcast.
Here you learn to speak and shine.
Let me ask you something a little uncomfortable. When you meet someone for the first time and you find out they're rich, does something shift in your mind? Like, does your opinion of them automatically go up? Be honest. Because I think most of us, even if we don't want to admit it, say yes. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Welcome back to Speak English with Fielza, the podcast where we have real, meaningful conversations in English so you can improve your language and your thinking at the same time. I'm your host, Fielza, and my wonderful co-host, Ethan, is here with me.
Hey everyone, super happy to be here. And Fielza, that opening question, wow, you came in strong today.
I did, didn't I? But honestly, I think this question touches something deep, something we all feel but don't always say out loud. So today's big question is this: does money define success? And does having money make someone more intelligent? Stay with us, because by the end of this episode, I think you might see money in a completely different way. Okay, Ethan, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're at a family gathering. You know how those go. Everyone's asking questions, catching up, sharing news. And then your cousin walks in. He's wearing a nice watch, a really nice watch. He just bought a new car. He mentions casually, almost too casually, that he just returned from a vacation in Europe.
Oh no, I know this cousin. Every family has this cousin.
Right? And suddenly, without even meaning to, everyone in the room is paying more attention to him. Aunties are smiling more. Uncles are nodding. Someone says, "He's doing so well, mashallah. So smart, so successful."
And what if someone else in the room, let's say a teacher or a nurse, or someone who works really hard but doesn't earn a lot, what happens to them?
Great question. They're still there, still in the room, still smiling, but somehow they become a little invisible, don't they?
That's actually kind of sad when you say it like that.
It is. And the thing is, nobody is doing it on purpose. Nobody wakes up and says, "Today I will ignore people who don't have money." It just happens, automatically, almost like a reflex. And I think that's what makes this conversation so important.
So why does that happen, Fielza? Like, where does that reflex come from?
We're going to get there, I promise. But first, I want you, the listener, to think about this. Have you ever felt invisible in a room because of money? Or have you ever felt more respected because of something you owned or earned? Just think about it. We'll come back to that feeling. Okay, Ethan, let's go deeper. Let me ask you something personal.
Uh-oh. Okay, go ahead.
Have you ever scrolled through social media and felt, even for just a second, like you were falling behind in life?
Seriously? That's like every other Tuesday for me. But honestly, yes. I'll be sitting there, perfectly happy, and then I open Instagram, and suddenly someone my age has started a business, bought a house, is traveling the world, and I'm just like, wait, am I doing something wrong?
Yes. And that feeling, that, "Wait, am I behind?" feeling, that is one of the most common emotional experiences of our generation. And it is deeply connected to money.
Because money is visible, right? Like, you can see someone's car or their house or their vacation photos, but you can't see how hard they worked or what they gave up or whether they're actually happy.
Exactly. You said it perfectly, Ethan. Money is visible, and our brains, human brains, are wired to compare based on what we can see.
So it's almost not even our fault?
Well, it's complicated. It's not entirely our fault that we compare. That's human nature. But what we do with that comparison, that's where we have a choice.
Okay, so the dangerous thought is, I don't have as much money as them, so I'm not as successful. And if I'm not successful, maybe I'm not as smart or capable either.
And that thought, that quiet, whispering thought, is something so many people carry around every single day. And it's heavy. It's really, really heavy.
Aw, yeah, it is.
And what makes it worse? Nobody talks about it openly, so you feel alone in it. Like you're the only one who's quietly asking, am I enough? Am I good enough?
But we're not alone in it, are we?
Not even close. And that's exactly why we're having this conversation today. All right, let's get into the psychology behind all of this. Because I think once we understand why we think this way, it becomes a little easier to step back from it. So, Ethan, why do you think people connect money with success?
I mean, I guess because money is the most obvious way to measure achievement. Like, society kind of teaches us that from the beginning.
Yes, and this goes way back. For most of human history, having resources, food, land, animals, and later money meant you were powerful. You could survive. You could protect your family. You had status. So our brains literally learned more resources equals more power equals more respect.
So it's like an ancient survival instinct that just never turned off?
Exactly. Wow, you're really getting it. And now, even in the modern world, even when we know logically that money isn't everything, that ancient part of our brain is still running in the background like an old app that just won't close.
Wow, that's such a good way to put it. The old app.
And here's the interesting part. Research in psychology actually shows that we unconsciously associate wealth with intelligence. Like, we assume that if someone is rich, they must be smart, because how else did they get there?
But wait, that's not always true, is it?
No, and that's the big myth we need to talk about. There are people who inherited money, people who got lucky at the right moment, people who made money by cutting corners or hurting others. And there are also incredibly intelligent people, scientists, artists, teachers, nurses, farmers, who work their entire lives and never become wealthy.
So intelligence and money are not the same thing at all.
Not even close. Intelligence is your ability to think, solve problems, understand the world, connect with people, create things. Money is just one possible outcome of using your intelligence in a way that the current economic system rewards.
Say that again? That was really good.
Money is one possible outcome of using your intelligence in a way the current economic system rewards. But there are so many kinds of intelligence: emotional intelligence, creative intelligence, social intelligence, that the economy doesn't always pay well.
Like a kindergarten teacher, arguably one of the most important jobs in the world. And they don't earn nearly as much as, I don't know, a crypto trader?
Right. And which one is more intelligent? Which one is more successful? It depends on how you define those words. And that's the whole point. Now, let's talk about social media, because I think social media has made all of this so much worse.
Oh, definitely. How?
Because social media turns life into a highlight reel. Everyone posts their best moments, their vacations, their promotions, their new things. Nobody posts, hey, I'm really struggling this month. Nobody says, I'm anxious and I don't know what I'm doing. So you see this curated version of everyone's life and you compare it to the full, messy, complicated reality of your own life.
And of course, your real life will always lose that comparison.
Always. And then you feel like you're behind, like you're failing, like everyone else is somehow winning at life and you missed the memo.
Wow. Okay, I need a moment. That hit close to home.
I know, and that's exactly why it matters. But here's what I want you to hold on to. That feeling of being behind, it's not based on reality. It's based on a very carefully edited version of reality. And once you know that, you can start to let it go. Okay, let's bring this to life with some real-world examples. I've got 3 short stories for you, and I think at least one of them will feel very familiar. Meet Sophie. She's 28 years old. She studied literature in university and became a writer. She loves what she does. She writes stories that make people cry and laugh and feel less alone. But she doesn't make a lot of money. Not yet, anyway. At family dinners, when people ask, "What do you do?" she says, "I'm a writer." And she gets this look. You know the look. The polite smile that says, "Oh, That's nice. Meanwhile, her brother works in finance. He makes good money. At the same dinner, when he says, I work in finance, the whole table lights up.
Aw, that's so unfair to Sophie.
It is. But here's what nobody at that table knows. Sophie's story was read by over 100,000 people online last year. She changed the way those people saw the world. She helped people feel understood during the loneliest moments of their lives. Is that not success?
Of course it is. That's huge success.
But because there's no big number attached to it, no salary, no visible wealth, the world doesn't always recognize it the same way. Now meet James. James dropped out of university at 20. He had an idea for a small business, a mobile phone repair shop. His family was worried. His friends thought he was making a mistake. 5 years later, James owns 3 shops and employs 12 people. Now everyone says, "Oh, James is so clever. He just knew what he was doing."
Wait, but they thought he was making a mistake before?
Exactly. His intelligence didn't change. His work ethic didn't change. What changed was the number in his bank account. And suddenly, people reinterpreted his whole story.
So we judge intelligence based on results? Based on money?
We often do. And isn't that strange? The person is the same person, but our perception changes completely based on financial outcome. And finally, this one is maybe the most thought-provoking. Meet Dr. Amara. She spent 12 years studying and training to become a doctor in a developing country. She works in a rural village. She saves lives every single week. She earns a modest salary. She doesn't own a luxury car. She doesn't travel business class. But ask the people in her village what they think of her, and they will tell you she is the most important, most intelligent, most successful person they have ever known.
Wow, okay. That one really got me.
Right? And here's the question. Whose opinion of her is more accurate? The city people who see her salary and think, oh, just a village doctor? Or the people whose children are alive because of her?
The second group, obviously.
And yet, in our society, in a lot of spaces, the first group's opinion carries more weight because the first group is measuring with money. And that is the problem we need to challenge. So, Ethan, after all of this, where do we land? I want to be really clear because I don't want to give the wrong message. Money is important. Let's not pretend otherwise.
Right, like we need money to live, to take care of ourselves and our families. It brings security and options.
Absolutely. And there is nothing wrong, nothing at all, with wanting financial success. Nothing wrong with working hard to earn more, to build wealth, to create a comfortable life. That's a completely valid and worthy goal.
But it's not the only measure of a person's worth.
Exactly. And it is definitely not a measure of intelligence. Because intelligence is so much bigger than what a bank statement shows. Here's what I've come to believe, and you can agree or disagree. I just want you to think about it. Success is living a life that aligns with your values. That's it. For some people, that means building a company. For others, it means raising kind children. For others, it means creating art, or healing people, or teaching, or simply being genuinely happy.
And all of those can be success.
All of those are success. The problem is that we let one definition, the money definition, drown out all the others.
So what can we actually do about it, like in our daily lives?
A few things. First, notice when you're comparing yourself to someone else based on money. Just notice it. Don't judge yourself for it. Just say, oh, there's that old app again. Second, ask yourself a different question. Instead of, how much are they earning? Ask, do they seem at peace? Do they seem like they're living with purpose? And third, be careful about the stories you tell yourself. Because those quiet, whispering stories, I'm behind, I'm not enough, I'm not smart because I don't have more money. Those stories are lies, and you deserve better than living inside a lie.
That was really beautiful, Filza.
Aw, thank you, Ethan. I mean every word of it. Okay, let's do what we always do. Let's pull out some really useful vocabulary from today's conversation. These are words and phrases that you can actually use in real life, in writing, and in English conversations.
Great! I love this part. Let's go.
Word number 1, perception. 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 This means the way you see or understand something. We said today, our perception of someone changes when we find out they have money.
Perception is like your mental picture of something.
Exactly. And you can say, success is all about perception. Or, my perception of him changed after I learned his story. Word number 2, unconsciously. This means doing something without realizing it, without being aware of it. We said, we unconsciously associate wealth with intelligence.
So it's like an automatic reaction you don't even notice?
Yes, you can say, I unconsciously started comparing myself to others. Or, she unconsciously judged him by his appearance. Word number 3, curated. C-U-R-A-T-E-D. Curated. This is a beautiful word. It means carefully selected and arranged to look a certain way. We talked about social media as a curated highlight reel, meaning people only show the best, most carefully chosen moments.
Oh, I love this word. Like, Instagram is not real life. It's a curated version of life.
Perfect sentence, Ethan. Word number 4, align with. To align with something means to match it, to go in the same direction as it. We said, success is living a life that aligns with your values.
So if I value creativity and I have a creative job, my life aligns with my values.
Beautiful. You can also say, his actions don't align with his words. Or, I'm looking for a career that aligns with my passion. Word number 5, worth. Now, worth has 2 meanings. As a noun, it means value. Your worth as a person. As an adjective, it means something deserves your time or effort. It's worth it. Today we said, money is not a measure of a person's worth.
Worth is such a powerful word in emotional conversations.
It really is. And I want you to remember this phrase. Your worth is not defined by your wallet. Say it, believe it, live it. Word number 6, reflex. R-E-F-L-E-X. Reflex. A reflex is an automatic reaction, something your body or mind does without thinking. We said, judging someone by their wealth is almost like a reflex. Nobody does it on purpose.
Like when the doctor taps your knee and your leg kicks, that kind of reflex?
Exactly that kind. But we can also use it for emotional or mental reactions. My reflex is to compare myself to others when I open social media. And our 7th and final word, modest. M-O-D-E-S-T. Modest. Modest means not large or showy, not extreme in either direction. We said, Dr. Amara earns a modest salary, meaning it's not big or luxurious, but it's enough.
Modest can also describe a person, right? Like someone who doesn't brag?
Yes, a modest person is humble and doesn't show off. She's incredibly talented, but very modest about it. 2 different uses, both really useful. Okay, we are coming to the end of today's episode, and I have to say, Ethan, this was one of my favorite conversations we've had.
Mine too, honestly. I came in thinking about money, and I'm leaving thinking about everything. My values, my goals, the stories I tell myself.
That's exactly what I hoped for. Because learning English isn't just about grammar and vocabulary, it's about thinking deeply, feeling something, and connecting with the world more fully. And today, I hope you did all three. So let me leave you with this. There is a man who has $1 billion, a large house, and a private jet. He wakes up every morning feeling empty and afraid. And there is a woman who has a small apartment, a bicycle, and a garden. She wakes up every morning feeling grateful and alive. Who is more successful? I don't think there's one right answer, but I do think asking the question is the most important thing.
Wow, that really makes you think.
And here is today's reflection question. I want you to genuinely sit with this. What is your personal definition of success? And how much of it is actually yours versus something society handed to you? Think about it. Write it down if you want. Share it in the comments. I read every single one.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because honestly, we all know at least one person who's too hard on themselves for not having enough.
Share it with them. It might be the kindest thing you do today. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. You chose to learn, to reflect, and to grow. And that, my friend, is its own kind of success. I'm Filza.
And I'm Ethan.
And we'll see you in the next episode of Speak English with Filza. Take care of yourselves, and remember, your value was never in your wallet. It was always in you. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.